I'm Mat Newson and welcome to day one of the UK Open weekend.
It certainly is UK Open weekend for the Brisca Formula 1 stock cars here at Skegness Raceway in Lincolnshire, and around 50 cars are here for the Brisca Formula 1s going for one of their top titles of the season. This is day one on Saturday evening here at Skegness. 2 heats and a consolation for the Brisca F1s in the first part of our programme. We've also got action from the Brisca Formula 2's, the F1s racing for the Andrew Battey Memorial in their meeting final. We kick off in the sunshine of Lincolnshire with heat number 1. 22 cars on track for this one. The top 12 will go through to the meeting final. Sam Wass and Scott Wright lead the white graders away, lower scorers from previous meetings. And we've got the yellows, blues, reds and superstars. Names to look out for in this one further back on the grid include the man we just heard from, Mat Newson. Dan Johnson's out there as well in number 4. Phoebe Wainman leading the family challenge, along with Frankie Wainman Jr., aka Little Ted as he's known to his family. Also this man Lee Fairhurst in 217. We've not seen too much of Lee so far in 2019 in front of our cameras, so we'll see how he gets on here. This is the venue, of course, where he won his world title back in 2012. This will be a 16-lap race, 12 qualifiers for the meeting final. We are underway. Notice many of the cars have their bumpers painted orange in memory of long-time stock car fan Andrew Battey, who recently lost his battle with cancer. Tonight's meeting being run in his memory. Lee Fairhurst getting the bumper in there on Dan Johnson. A tangle on the outside. Ben Riley in 422 was one car involved there. Dutchman Rick Lenssen in H318 was the other. So it's Sam Wass with a clear lead in the early stages here in 284, ahead of yellow grader Tristan Jackson in 101. Shane Geary, the Northants driver, in 478 is in third. The race starts to settle in. There's Finn Sargent in 526. Danny Wainman blasts past our camera car of Chris Cowley, gets some bumper in return, fires him into the back of the number 120 car there. That's Casey Engelstone. Mini stocks and saloon stock car racer. 415 Russell Cooper goes 3 wide with Sargent and with the 278 of Paul Hopkins in there. Mat Newson under fire from Lee Fairhurst, makes him out wide. The stuck cars there of Lenssen and Riley on the outside out of the race. Leaders able to get through on the inside. Marshall on the inside, the turn signalling drivers to pass on the inside, and in goes Joe Nichols there in 242. More cars pile in behind them. There's about 4 or 5 cars in there. We'll try and identify those in a moment as Chris Cowley gets the bumper in on Phoebe Wainman in 211. Plenty of early action incidents on the Skegness Raceway tarmac. Raceway greatly improved in its facilities since the legendary stock car driver Rob Speak took over as promoter. Shane Geary stuck in that pile-up on the outside of turn 2 there, among others. A change for the lead. 101, Tristan Jackson, tarmac specialist, takes over from Sam Wass in 284. Didn't take him long to reel him in. Who else have we got in that pile-up up there? Ben Riley, I can see. He was one of the first cars in when he tangled with Rick Lenssen. 526 of Finn Sargent. We've seen have quite a few successes this season along with his dad Mark. Gets past the 275 of Terry Hawkins. Don't forget 12 cars to qualify for the meeting final. We're on board with Lee Fairhurst. In goes the bumper on the back of the treble 5 of Frankie Wainman Jr. Lee gains another place across the Skegness tarmac, as he proved when he won the world final here from the back of the grid in 2012. Mat Newson makes up another place in number 16. Great to have him back racing after his early season illness. 401 there, Mark Wackawareham, veteran campaigner in the yellow graded car. Been racing in heritage stock cars in recent years. There is Danny Wainman in 212, gets some bumper now from Lee Fairhurst. We've not seen too much of Danny so far this year either. Plenty of action all the way down the order. Then we're coming into the closing stage here. It looks like it is going to be a win for number 101 of Tristan Jackson. We've seen him do most of his winning at Birmingham over the years, as Mark Wareham has had a spin there in 401. He may have to go in the Consolation events. Fairhurst continuing to put the bumper in on all and sundry. Bradley Harrison in 25 takes a hit from the 217 car. He's been doing plenty of promotion for Brisca F1 in his hometown of Bolton in Lancashire over recent months. Had his car on display at a number of events. Towards the end then of heat number 1 for the Brisca Formula 1 stock cars. It'll be last lap this time for race leader Tristan Jackson. The higher graders seemingly content to battle with each other in this one. The leader comes up to lap Russell Cooper in 4:15. It is going to be a win for number 101, Tristan Jackson. Comes up to lap Karl Wainman in 3:03 round the final turn. And 101, Tristan Jackson takes the checkered flag. A comfortable win for the yellow grader. For the rest of the placings in a few moments' time. Looks like it was Sam Wass who took second there in 2:84. Wait to see who was placed elsewhere in that first race of the day here at sunny Skegness, just inland from the famous holiday resort here. Many fans making a full weekend of it. A huge crowd in attendance here at Skegness. Result confirmed that as a win for Tristan Jackson, over 2 seconds clear of Sam Wass, Shaun, Webster and George Elwell. Blue graders third and fourth. It was Chris Cowley ahead of Fairhurst, Harrison, Danny Wainman. Dan Johnson had a quiet race. Mat Newson rounding out the top 10. Frankie Wainman, Junior and Finn Sargent, the other qualifiers for the final.
101, Tristan Jackson, Heat 1 winner, and a good way to start the weekend.
Yeah, the car was on rails, to be fair. Can't fault it, so it's good.
And you're known for your tarmac racing. You've got a shale car this year as well, but your form on tarmac is really good.
Yeah, it was alright. We're struggling with the shale car at the minute, but we'll get there, I think. But
And we can see you're having a well-earned brew now before the final as well.
yeah.
Well, best of luck.
Cheers.
The other half of the entry out on track now for heats at number 2. Dave Dorrans in 3:66 and 1:80 of Courtney Witts lead them off. Good to see her back racing. The defending UK Open champion is out in this one, 4:45 Nigel Green. Also the national points champion Frankie Wainman Jr. in 5:15. Also out there we've got the new car of 197 Ryan Harrison making his debut with that car. New tarmac car for number 84, the European champion Tom Harris as well, starting alongside Nigel Green. Courtney Witts looks like she's going to take the lead around the outside as they come round towards the green flag. 23 cars on track for 16 laps. Away they go for heat number 2. Another 12 qualifiers to be sorted out for the final. And Ryan Harrison's new car hasn't got far. He's had a spin already, number 197. We're on board with Tom Harris. Great shot here from the front bumper of his new car, getting the bumper in on Junior Wainman, but I think he's got a problem there, Tom Harris. He's dropped back. Paul Hines attacking in 2:59 there on the back of Luke Davidson in 4:64. Nearly won the UK Open title last year. Tom Harris pulling off. He has indeed got a problem. It's 1:80 Courtney Witts who leads the way. First meeting for around 18 months in Brisca F1, and a tangle there. Adam Bamford goes off along with a couple of others there into the wall. 2:59 Paul Hines gets taken in, tangles with Luke Davidson. That's their second confrontation of this race. So plenty of hard hits already going in on turns 1 and 2 up there. 4:45 Nigel Green defending the UK Open title this weekend. The caution flag is coming out though. Yellow flag's out for those cars off on turn 2, I think. Race is brought under the yellow flags. The cars form up single file ready for the restart. Where's the tangle? Adam Bamford with Kyle Gray in 1:24 and Sam Jacklin in 1:37 went crashing in on the outside. We also saw Paul Hines and Luke Davidson go in just a little further round the turn, and it was for that reason we had the yellow flags come out. Courtney Witts the leader ahead of Dave Dorrans in 3:66 in the MJS recovery car. Callum Oakes Kidson number 533 is third. Then we've got Alex Wass in 2:83, the brother of Sam Wass who we saw in race 1. Ashley England there in 3:46, the blue grader, tarmac specialist. Karl Hawkins in 1:75 further back as well. So we get back underway. Heat number 1 with Courtney Witts in the lead. On board with Nigel Green as a few cars get scattered out wide there. The start of that one. Green attacks Junior Wainman in 5:15. Hawkins in 1:75 just ahead. They start to battle with each other. And are they going to catch the lower graders here in this one? Courtney Witts with a clear lead at the moment. Alex Wass going for second place in car 283. Re-ride on board with yellow grader Aaron Leach in number 70. Ahead of us is Callum Oakes Kidson, that beautifully liveried number 533 car. From some stunning artwork on that machine. His father Daz Kidson, a former F2 world champion. We'll see the Brisca F2s out later on. Dave Dorrans has been taken wide. He's lost second place. Looks like Charlie Sauder in number 5 has come through there. The son of Mick Sauder, of course, number 150. Nigel Green side by side with Aaron Leach. Charlie Sauder gets sent wide now. So does Aaron Leach, further back by Karl Hawkins in the 175. Paul Harrison in number 2, father of Bradley, the 2011 world champion. He is in that group as well, and Ryan Harrison recovering from his spin at the start of the race. Aaron Leach is on his tail. Karl Hawkins has been bumped and wide in 175, so a little bit livelier than we saw in heat number 1. And Hawkins spins out. The bumper's gone in on Aaron Leach. Didn't see who from there. Somebody else has spun out there. That's the 346 of Ashley England. He's tangled with Charlie Sauder, who rejoins. The Union flag has just gone out for halfway, and Courtney Witts is still leading by a very handsome margin in the number 180 car, passing the spun car of Scotsman John Fortune there, number 164. Courtney Witts is the daughter of Ray Witts, very successful V8 stock car and F1 stock car racer. Courtney's younger brother Jack is currently winning titles by the hatful in the national mini stocks as well. Courtney herself, former British and gold top champion in the minis. Interest at one time from a couple of circuit racing teams as well. She's had trials on simulators for circuit race teams, maybe a change of career in the offing one day. Certainly showing the regulars the way here in this heat number 2 for the Brisca Formula 1 stock cars. Dave Dorrans has been lapped there in 3.66. Let's have a look back at second place. Ashley England's a lap down as well. It's Junior Wainman second now, ahead of Nigel Green. Then we've got Murray Jones in 1.96. The former saloon stock car and super stock star. They're not going to catch Courtney Witts here. This is very impressive from one of the leading ladies of UK oval racing. Great to see her back in the F1s. Maybe we'll see her make more regular appearances along with the likes of Phoebe Wainman and Jacqueline Ellis, the leading ladies of Brisca F1 over the last few years. 5.5, Junior Wainman holding off Nigel Green for second place. They lap Ashley England in 3.46. We saw him spin earlier on. But it's going to be a flag-to-flag win by the look of things for the 180 of Courtney Witts. She heads into the final turn. Very impressive drive indeed. Nigel Green attacking for second on the final turn at the inside. Will he take Junior Wainman for second place? The drag race to the line. Wainman holds on, but it is a win for Courtney Witts in 180. Who attempts a donut in celebration there. Well, half a donut there as she slides onto the centre. Didn't quite make the full 360. She's happy. Excellent race victory there for Courtney Witts on her return after nearly 18 months away from Brisca Formula 1. Great to have young Courtney back. He takes the win by nearly 3 seconds ahead of Junior Wainman, who just out-dragged Nigel Green to the line. Paul Harrison taking 4th ahead of Murray Jones, then Mickey Randell in 172. Aaron Leach in 7th ahead of 484 of Craig Utley. Karl Hawkins and Martin Spiers rounding out the top 10. Callum Oakes-Kitson and Ashley England, the other 2 qualifiers for the meeting final.
180, Courtney Witts, Heat 2 winner here today and on the pace.
Yeah, it was a great race. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. After 18 months out the seat, I definitely wasn't expecting a win, but we'll take it.
Yeah, last time we saw you on the television screens, it was the gala night, and you got a win then as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, last time I was out, I got a win, but like that was a long time ago, and I thought I'd be so rusty. But like, to be fair, I couldn't thank the Davidsons enough. Like, they took me practicing this week and like made me remember what to do, and then like I've just been working through the day today in practice and stuff, and the car was mint then. To be fair, like in practice it wasn't feeling great, but like I couldn't fault the car in that race. It did everything I wanted it to do, so it was great. And I was just praying that there'd be no more yellow flags, and there wasn't, so I was in luck.
And if everything goes your way and on that pace, you could be a dark horse for the championship tomorrow as well.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'll be trying. I mean, you can't go racing and not aim to win. I mean, that's what everyone's aiming to do. So we'll just keep working on the car, seeing if we can get it better and better each race. And like, I just need to like improve my confidence as well. And like, I was lucky to get away in that one. I mean, I need to get better at dealing with traffic and things like that. So, and I'd imagine in a championship race like tomorrow's, it will definitely be lots of traffic.
Well, best of luck. Well, I'm sure we'll be speaking again soon.
Thank you, and I hope so.
Time for the Consolation race then. These are the drivers that didn't make it into the top 12 in their heats. Another 10 places up for grabs in the meeting final. There are another 23 cars out on track for this one. Another 16 laps coming your way. For the drivers who didn't make it through from the heats, notable names including Tom Harris, of course, who pulled up with car problems. Ryan Harrison's new car is out there as well. They're the main players to watch from the back of the field. Ben Riley in 4.22. Involved in an early tangle with Rick Lenssen, the Dutchman. He's on the grid as well. Luke Davidson in 4.64. He tangled with Paul Hines, who hasn't made it back out, I don't think, for this one in 2.59. Phoebe Wainman is out there in 2.11, 2.78, and Paul Hopkins as well. But it's Dave Dorrans in 3.66 who leads them away ahead of Sam Jacklin in 137. A bit of a slow start for 303 Karl Whiteman from the outside of the front row there. All the way cleanly though. We go on board with Tom Harris in car number 84 on bumper cam, chasing after 422 of Ben Riley. He nearly does exactly the same there with Rick Lenssen as he did in Heat 1, but they avoid each other this time. Tom Harris leaps through on the inside in car 84, the European champion. There's that new car of 197. Brian Harrison, a superb looking beast, that one. Bit of bumping and boring there in the midfield. Luke Davidson involved in 464. It's Dave Dorrans, the early leader, in car 366. Russell Cooper gets sent out wide there in car 415, and a bit of a wallop in the background there. A couple of cars went off. I think one of them might have been Casey Engelston in number 120. Couldn't quite see who the other one was. I'll pick up on that in a moment, because Tom Harris is right in the thick of things in the midfield. We're with him, makes up about 3 places in one turn there. Coming up on Scott Wright in car number 254. There is Dave Dorrans in 366. He's raced bangers, rebels, V8 stock cars, and now giving the F1s a go. Looking for his first F1 win here in this Consolation event. Fairly well strung out around the raceway now. All those couple of cars stranded up on turn 1. Sun sets here at Skegness, but the caution flags are coming out for those stranded cars. I think one of them is Casey Engelston. Another one is Scott Wright in 254, and the third car, the green car there in the background, is Karl Whiteman. We'll see what happened to those three. Engelston got tangled up with the 303 of Karl Whiteman, slid out into the wall. Perhaps they spotted the burger van in the background there. And he gets stuck against the wall, and I think Scott Wright ended up, walloping straight into the back of the 120 of Casey Engelston. So that was the reason for the yellow flag, just to check the drivers were okay. That was quite a hit for Casey, whose dad, John Engelston, we've seen out in the F1s in the past, the ex-saloon stock car and banger racer. Ready for the restart then. It is Dave Dorrans ahead of Kyle Gray in 124. Dave wouldn't have wanted to see those yellow flags come out, because he had quite a lead built up over the rest of the pack, and Kyle Gray has been able to get the bumper straight in there into turn 1, and through he goes into the lead. The yellow grader takes up the lead then. A brilliant debut season Kyle Gray had last year, some calling him the new sensation of Brisca F1. He's certainly proving that at the moment here. There's the battle between Luke Davidson, Tom Harris, Charlie Sauder and Joe Nichols in 242 is in there, almost 3 wide. They are 3 wide as they go down the straight there. Davidson makes up a couple of places in the 464. Kyle Gray leads it from Dorrans. It's Alex Wass in third. This battle is now for 4th place as the Union flag goes out for halfway. Davidson under fire from Tom Harris, making up for car problems in his heats. It's Kyle Gray still with the lead in number 124, son of former racer Mark Gray. 242 car in the fence there, Joe Nichols, and the yellow flag does come out. So the yellow is out again. Kyle Gray prevented from getting away. We'll see what's happened there to 242 Joe Nichols. I think he had Adam Bamford stuffed into him by John Fortune there, and walloped straight in backwards went the 242 car. Yellow's out just to check on the slightly shaken young gun in 242. He's out of the race. Kyle Gray certainly isn't though. He's got the lead ahead of Dave Dorrans. Tom Harris now up to 4th and ready to attack. He's got ahead of Luke Davidson. And then we've got the wild child, as it says on his wing, Charlie Sauder in number 5. He's proved at a few show events he's had that car on display. He's very good at doing donuts, is Charlie Sauder, so we'll maybe see that if he were to win here. Away they go then, a slow restart for Dave Dorrans. He drops back in 366 with a possible problem. Kyle Gray gets away into the lead, driving an ex-Tom Harris car, if memory serves me right, and its former owner is now up in the 2nd place ahead of Alex Wass and Luke Davidson. And we've got Sauder, and then a small gap back to the rest of the pack headed by Rick Lenssen, our Dutch visitor in H318, H for Holland of course. Tom Harris trying to close on race leader teenager Kyle Gray. Goes the bumper from 464. Luke Davidson trying to attack Alex Wass for 3rd position, the yellow grader. Then Sauder, then Lenssen. They've broken away from the rest of the field now. Luke Davidson nibbling at the back bumper there of Alex Wass, now gets it wide in 283, side by side down the straight. Backboards are out from the start marshal. Davidson goes up into 3rd place. Next group of cars headed by the 422 of Ben Riley ahead of Paul Hopkins and the rest of them. through there on the inside, Adam Bamford. He's having a good season so far, but John Fortune picks him up and wallop straight in they go. That's broken the steering on Adam Bamford's car. He's out of the race. Commentator's curse there for Adam. I said he was having a good season so far. He got walloped straight in. Sorry, Adam. Meantime, Tom Harris has caught Kyle Gray. Are we going to see a last bend lunge here for the lead? They're coming around to start the final lap now. Harris is poised to attack. He's going to go up the inside coming out of turn 4. He may not wait till the last bend. He's going for the inside. They're almost side by side into turns 1 and 2. Harris is going through. He's got the gap. He goes through. It's going to be a win for the number 84. Tom, the Hitman Harris, out of the final turn, takes the consolation win. Second for Kyle Gray. Third place will go to Luke Davidson, Alex Was, Charlie Sauder, Rick Lenssen, and the rest of them. Adam Bamford got going again there after that impact of the fence. That's quite impressive to drag the car home. I don't think he's made the top 10. We'll check that in a moment to see who is going through to the meeting final. Don't forget, only 10 from the consolation, not the top 12. We know the winner, number 84, Tom Harris, making up for breaking down early in his heat. The European champion takes the win by 0.8 of a second ahead of Kyle Gray. Luke Davidson third ahead of Alex Was and Charlie Sauder. Dutchman Rick Lenssen a good 6th ahead of Ben Riley. And Phoebe Wainman, Paul Hopkins and Russell Cooper meeting the top 10. They go through to the meeting final. Adam Bamford not quite making it. He dragged his car home 14th.
84 Tom Harris, consolation winner and first win in the new tarmac car.
Yeah, it's about time, isn't it? It's taken a lot longer to get going than what I'd hoped, but we're getting there slowly. It's the only way to sort of like get an advantage, is do something different. So that's what we've done, and we're taking baby steps. We need to be taking big steps, but unfortunately we're not. But yeah, we're getting there with it, and we'll be there. We're there or thereabouts.
Yeah, all new cars take time to get development. They always say once you've bent it, it goes faster, and you've been trying that recently in the last few weeks, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. It got bent at Birmingham, and it's a different car again today. So I'd like to thank Dan, because he should have done it from out the box. But yeah, hopefully we can sort the steering out now. It'll be all right.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
The sun is setting, but the action heating up here at Skegness Raceway on this Saturday night. More stock car action coming up in a few moments' time. We've got the finals and Grand Nationals for the Brisca Formula 1s and the Formula 2s as well, coming up after this short break. Don't go away. More in a moment. Welcome back to Skegness Raceway here on Brisca Formula 1 Stock Cars UK Open Weekend. Now time to go into the finals of this Saturday night, day 1 of this 2-day meeting. And we're first going to look at the Brisca Formula 2 stock cars. Big entry of them here this evening. Almost 30 cars out there for the meeting final. And car 183 at the back of the white tops is the man who everyone's eyes will be on. That's former National Mini Stocks gold top Charlie Ginchard. He won 2 of the 3 heats earlier on. The other one by number 25 Stuart Hodson, the yellow grader. Will Charlie Ginchard score a hat-trick? We've got quite a few Dutch drivers in this race, plus 1 or 2 from Northern Ireland. The world champions out there as well, with the gold aerofoil at the back there, number 7 Gordon Moody, 2 times a world champion now. Plenty of other big names out there, including former world champion Kelvin Marshall in 101, 142 Jonathan Hadfield, regular circuit racer in Ginetta Sports Cars, is out there somewhere as well. We get underway then, 20 laps for the Brisca Formula 2s here at Skegness Raceway. Bart Smets, the UK-based Dutchman in 969, leads them away. 283 Gary Allen gets sent out wide. Another of the yellow graders spinning behind him. Very busy pack of nearly 30 F2s out there. Henry King in 78 gets sent wide. 482 Dale Seneschal was leading, but Charlie Ginchard, not surprisingly, has already burst through into the lead, and we're only on the second lap. Second is the number 702 car of Will Thompson. Gordon Moody's already carved his way through several of the higher graders there. There's John Hadfield, number 142 we mentioned, side by side with Julian Coombs, the Cornish driver in the green 828 car. This midfield group led by number 4 of Martin Ford, one of several members of the Ford family who've raced F2s over the years. Gordon Moody's in there as well, ahead of 359 of Gary Wrench. He gets some bumper from Tommy Farrell from the West Country in number 667. Drivers from all over the UK, Northern Ireland and the Netherlands here this evening in the Formula 2s. Always a huge entry at Skegness. Big tangle there between Julian Coombs and I think that's Gary Wrench facing the wrong way. Sparks flying from the back of Coombs' car. He's damaged his suspension. It's 183 Charlie Ginchard setting the pace up front as Wrench tries to wrench the car back facing the right way. And the background there, at turns 3 and 4. There's Northern Ireland's Bradley McKinstry in the 747 car, being chased by Aaron Veit in 184. Tommy Farrell's in there, and 78 ex-Legends cars racer Henry King. Lostdale Seneschal in 482, he's in the fence on turn 4. Only a couple of cars have gone out so far, and that battle of the blue graders has blown up there. Tommy Farrell goes into the wall, Henry King left facing the wrong way. He rejoins just behind leader Charlie Ginchard at 101. Kelvin Marshall pulling off, the former world champion, won his world title on the tarmac at Hensford Raceway. We go there fairly soon, next month in fact, for the Brisca F1 British Championships. Ginchard now coming into lap 618 of Ben Lockwood. There's number 25, Stuart Hodson. He had a heat win earlier on in the car known as the Purple People Eater. He chased by 251 of Craig Driscoll. H154 there, that is Kay Lenssen. A few members of the Lenssen family racing here this weekend, getting some bumper from David Shearing in 564. Now, he was a white top at the start of this season, only just out of mini stocks, and a very successful Brisca F2 career on the tarmac in particular so far. Still Charlie Ginchard though leads at halfway. Behind him is another Dutchman, H202, that's Art-Jan van Dam. 618 Ben Lockwood, the man from Manchester, about to be lapped there as well, and Gary Allen in 283. They almost have a coming together there as Ginchard gets through. 4 wide into turn 1, and Van Dam spins out in 202. Somebody else has spun there, the 190 car of Ben Germany. 183 Ginchard, former gold top in the national mini stocks, along with many, many other titles in his mini days. Son of Mark Ginchard, himself a former racer. Just about all the Ginchards have raced stock cars over the years, including on the circuits as well. We've seen a couple of Ginchards in karting and single-seaters over the years. Aaron Vates chasing David Shearing, behind them Martin Ford in the number 4. The Dayglow yellow car getting some bumper there from one of the red tops, couldn't see who. The smaller aerofoils that F2s tend to use on tarmac these days, making it a little bit more difficult to read the numbers. Van Dam with a lot of smoke there, he's a lap down as Ginchard continues to dominate. He's heading for a hat-trick of wins on this Saturday night here at Skegness Raceway. Looking to enter Brisca F1 in a year or two's time. So gaining his ground in F2s at the moment. Van Dam continues to smoke in the 202 car, but he's keeping it going. In fact, there's not been many retirements in this F2 final. Henry King getting some bumper in on the 251 of Craig Driscoll there. Bradley McKinstry, the Northern Irishman, up behind them in 747, and 184 Aaron Vates. Pushing and shoving, Driscoll goes wide. Just a couple of laps to go now for Ginchard. He's not taking any risks here, he's not attacking the back markers. He knows he's well ahead of his opposition. The only car able to stay within the 560 car there of Luke Wrench. Gained a bit of ground there as we go into the final lap. I don't think he's going to catch Charlie Ginchard though. We'll take something special from Luke Wrench from here. There's a back marker in between the two of them, and Ginchard is going to hang on. It's going to be a hat-trick for white grader Charlie Ginchard. He won't be a white grader for very long. Luke Wrench comes over in second, and Gordon Moody back in third, I think there. It was a quiet race for the world champion there. Couldn't stay with the leaders. I'll confirm the rest of the results in a few moments' time. Charlie Ginchard has totally dominated the F2s here at Skegness on this Saturday evening, with a hat-trick of victories. Ginchard the winner, 0.4 of a second ahead of Luke Wrench. Gordon Moody third ahead of earlier heat winner Stuart Hodson. Kay Lenssen, the Dutchman, in 5th place ahead of Bradley McKinstry for Northern Ireland, and Aaron Vates, David Shearing, Martin Ford and Craig Driscoll rounding out the top 10.
In memory of the unforgettable Battey, drivers, start!
The most famous words in motorsport herald the Chevrolet V8 engines into life for what is a very special race for stock car drivers and fans. The Andrew Battey Memorial Final for the Brisca Formula 1 stock cars under the Skegness floodlights. Andrew Battey, a long-time stock car supporter, very enthusiastic fan indeed. Very sadly lost his battle with cancer earlier this season. This race being run in his memory. Courtney, Witts and Callum Oakes Kitson will lead the field of 35 cars away. Two cars just just dropping into line. Saw the qualifiers earlier on. This is going to be a rather emotional race, I would guess. Courtney, Witts and Tristan Jackson, the heat winners. Tom Harris took the Consolation. They're all aiming for doubles. Well, we see a new winner. Finn Sargent just needing a push start there from the Blue Graders. Very coveted trophy, the Andrew Battey Memorial Trophy for these drivers to race for. Fairhurst, Dan Johnson, Junior Wainman further back on the grid, Tom Harris at the back in car 84. It'll be a 20-lap race. We're on board with Dan Johnson in car number 4 as we're about to get underway then with the meeting final under the floodlights on this Saturday night. Andrew Battey, this one's for you, mate. Away they go. Courtney Witts will lead them off in car number 180, ahead of Sam Wass in 284. Callum Oakes-Kitson in third. First in the yellows is Russell Cooper in 415. Looks like they're all going to make it round the first turn okay. Bumpers starting to go in among the yellow and blue tops already. Being taken wide there, Martin Spiers in the 451. He tangles with Charlie Sauder, almost there in number 5. We're on board with Nigel Green in 445, attacking Tom Harris in the 84. Tries to put him into the back of Charlie Sauder's slowing car. Green sideways up the inside there, sends somebody else out into the wall. That was one of the Blue Graders. Race settles down again. I think it was Phoebe Wainman who hit the wall there down the straights. Martin Spiers stranded there on the exit of turn 4. Tom Harris under fire. There's a tangle there down the straights between Paul Hopkins and somebody else trying to hitch a ride. Who was that? That was Rick Lenssen, the Dutchman, in 318. We lost Mat Newson in number 16. Courtney Witts, meanwhile, continues to lead the way, chased by Sam Wass in 284 on this very busy track. She's already encountering traffic. Paul Hopkins gets spun out by Sam Wass. Russell Cooper in third, under fire from Alex Wass in 283. The two brothers running well here in the leading places. So the early hits have settled down now into this fast-paced final. The cars seeming to almost go faster under the Skegness floodlights. Dan Johnson under fire there, very busy among the Reds and Superstars. We go on board with Tom Harris in car 84 attacking. I think that's Paul Harrison in car number 2, makes up a couple of places. Down the home straight, you really get the sensation of speed from this bumper cam. Down the straight goes Tom Harris, ready to attack the next group of cars ahead of him. He's got Junior Wainman and Nigel Green. They've been slugging it out all night in his wake. Wainman sent wide there down the home straight. There's Dan Johnson in car number 4. Tom Harris trying to catch him. There's been a bit of a rivalry between those drivers of late, but I think the yellow flags have come out. Indeed they have. Courtney Witts still the leader. I think the problem may well have been Martin Spiers in the 451. We've seen him stranded on turn 4. He got shuffled into the wall early on in this race. Sat there for a few laps. And the yellow's coming out just to possibly remove his car. Ready for the restart then. We're on lap 9 of the 20. Courtney Witts' lead has been reduced down to nothing. It's Kyle Gray right behind her. Similar situation to the Consolation where Gray was on the tail of Dave Dorrant for the restarts. Is he ready to put the bumper in here into the first turn? He doesn't quite manage it this time. To third is Tristan Jackson, our Heat 1 winner in 101. Then it's Alex Wass. Kyle Gray now ready to attack Courtney Witts for the lead around turns 3 and 4. Has a look on the inside as they come up over the line. Is he going to go through? Yes, he is. Kyle Gray takes the lead of the Andrew Battey Memorial Trophy final. Tom Harris trying to make it 4 wide. Back in the pack a little further. His next target is Chris Cowley. Tom Harris just gained 3 places in 1 turn. He is really firing them in here. He goes for the inside on Cowley. He goes for the inside on Dan Johnson as well. Oh, he's been clouted from the inside, and round goes Harris. All his good work is undone, and Harris left facing the wrong way. That's how quickly it can happen in Brisca Formula 1 stock car racing. And actually England's about to find out here. He nearly gets pincered by Cowley and Bradley Harrison there. He's now been sent wide by Mickey Randell. Spins out. Goodness me. The yellow flag has certainly bunched up the field and made things a lot more lively. Meanwhile, 1-2-4 of Kyle Gray. Yeah, Tom Harris behind him in the closing laps of the Consolation and took the win off him. Now he's about to lap his car's former owner. After that spin down the straight there where Harris got sent across the track and spinning into the wall. Again, too many cars in too small a space. 2-1-2 there. Danny Wainman under fire from George Elwell. Had a quiet run to 4th place in his heat, the Blue Raider. Attacking Danny Wainman, the former under-25s champion. Dan Johnson ahead of him in the number 4. See the battles all the way down the midfield. Up front it is still 124, Kyle Gray, there he is. Ahead of Tristan Jackson in the 101. Looking further back to see who's in third. I think it's still Courtney Witts in the 180. I'm going to have a top three of yellow and white graders here. There's Lee Fairhurst. He's had a quiet night as well. It has been a fairly subdued evening for the higher graders in some cases. Maybe they're just keeping their powder dry ahead of the UK Open tomorrow. This is a bit of a warm-up meeting. Oh, we've lost Danny Wainman. He's pulled up in 2-1-2 out of the race on the exit of turn 2 there. And just a couple of laps to go now for Kyle Gray, the teenager in number 124. Courtney Witts under fire from Nigel Green. Lee Fairhurst up there as well. We had a change there for the final podium spot. No, Witts is still in there, the 180 car. Just a couple of laps left now in this final for the Brisca F1s, and tangle there. 175, Karl Hawkins rides over the top of Mickey Randell. There's a wheel off there. Now, is the race going to be stopped? Doesn't look like it at the moment. They are into the final lap, so they'll complete the race. Kyle Gray is heading for victory in the 124 car. Round turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Gray is coming in to win. Nigel Green, meanwhile, is up into third place, and Alex Wass goes into the pilot there, knocks Karl Hawkins' car flying. Meantime, Kyle Gray has taken the win. But I'm a little surprised the race wasn't stopped there with 2 laps to go because of that loose wheel from the tangle between Hawkins and Randell. And then this happened. Alex Wass helps Karl Hawkins off the bonnet of Mickey Randell. Saves the tractor drivers a job, I suppose. They still need to recover those 2 cars. Randell with the wheel missing. Fireworks at the end of the race in memory of Andrew Battey, sadly lost member of the stock car community. Check out the results of that one then. Kyle Gray taking the win ahead of Tristan Jackson, with Nigel Green taking third on the final lap ahead of Lee Fairhurst, Courtney Witts. Frankie Wainman Jr. in 6th ahead of Aaron Leach, then Paul Harrison, Alex Wass and Finn Sargent rounding out the top 10 finishers in the inaugural Andrew Battey Memorial.
124, Kyle Gray, final winner.
Oh, can't believe it. This time, well, not this time. Last year managed to get a final win here, and this year we've just had bad luck after bad luck, and obviously it's finally come my way again. So yeah.
And it was a special final as well. It was in memory of Andrew Battey, and there was a big prize fund on it, but the money's not what mattered in that.
Money doesn't matter at all. It's just the pure fact that I won it, and I wanted to. The next race I won, well, even if I ever did win one, I was going to dedicate it to him anyway, and it couldn't have been a better race to dedicate it to him because he's one kind gentleman. It's just sad to see him go.
And it was a hard, fast race as well. It wasn't an easy win. You had to work hard for that.
It's like in the Consolation, it was yellow flags after yellow flags, and then in the final, I saw the yellow flags come out again, and I was like, same again. But no, finally pulled through and managed to take the win.
And then don't touch your setup. Leave it ready for tomorrow, of course.
Oh God, too right. Leave that how it is. Put it in the bus, out the way, out of sight. So,
well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now we're back with the Formula 2 boys. It's their Grand National, so the final winner, Charlie Ginchard, starts from the 1 lap handicap in front of his fellow white tops, I should say. The white grader himself, very impressive with 3 wins out of 3 on this Saturday night. This will be a 16-lap race, around 20 cars out there on track. Gordon Moody's out there, the world champion. A number of star graders as well. Bradley McKinstry for Northern Ireland, Kay Lenssen and Art-Jan van Dam from the Netherlands. UK-based Dutchman Bart Smets in 969 is out there in his Team Mitchell-built car. Ginchard starting just ahead of him. He's got the 1 lap handicap to make up. Can he complete a final and Grand National double and complete a perfect score of all 4 race wins? It's rare to see, especially on tarmac, a final and Grand National double. Smets leads them round. He's got the 130 car of Emma Ford, one of the leading ladies of Brisca F2, alongside, and away they go. 16 laps of Brisca F2 action. Gordon Moody wasting no time in attack on Kay Lenssen in H154. All into the first turn okay. Tommy Farrell under fire there from the 564, I think that is, of David Shearing. That wasn't, sorry, it was the 527 of James Riggle. Apologies there. It's 969 of Bart Smets, who's got the early lead ahead of 702 Will Thompson. The first couple of laps of this Grand National event under the floodlights. Craig Driscoll in third under pressure from Stuart Hodson in number 25. Kelvin Marshall, we didn't see him last too long in the final before car gremlin struck. He's under fire from David Shearing in the 564. Bradley McKinstry ahead of them in 747, the Northern Irishman. Tommy Farrell in 667 gets some bumper from Lenssen. Hodgson going through into second place past the 702 of Thompson, but in goes the bumper from one of the red tops already on lap 4. James Riggle is up into second place. He's flown up the order in the early stages. There's the world champion, number 7, Gordon Moody. And we have a change of leader. Into the lead goes James Riggle, ex-national mini-stock star in 527. The 702 of Thompson nearly gets potted on the turn there. Gordon Moody has already passed about half of the field. He's up with the leading pack now. Smith's dropping back in 969. It's James Riggle absolutely flying out in front in 527. He's something of a Skegness specialist in the F2's. 5-4. Lenssen gets the bumper in on one of the Fords. That was number 4 of Martin Ford. He's going to fight back into the turns. They close down Ben Lockwood in number 618. Saw him running in front of the leader for most of the final. He's chasing Aaron Vate this time in 184, but it's Riggle who leads. Moody now going for second, attacking Stuart Hodgson. We lose the 702 there of Will Thompson. 702, the number used for many years by Shale racer Alan Cooper, and he's lost his steering there and walloped straight in goes Thompson. Martin Ford spins around in the number 4. James Riggle out on his own in 527. He's got Gordon Moody chasing him now. Somebody else spinning ahead of them there. I think that was Arjan van Dam, the Dutchman. Stuart Hodgson in 3rd. Then it's Aaron Vate and Ben Lockwood in 618. That's your top 5. James Riggle out in front, but Moody is starting to hunt him down. He's won more races than I can remember in Brisca F2, including many here at Skegness. One of his favourite tracks on the F2 schedule. He goes all over the country. Gordon Moody, including right down to St Day in Cornwall he's been to recently near Redruth. Then travelled back up the country to race closer to his homeland the following day. Very dedicated driver is Gordon indeed. He's chasing down James Riggle. Gordon Moody, a multiple national points champion. He's won 2 world titles. He's up the inside there to take the lead, but James Riggle fights back, gets the bumper in on the turn. They pass the stranded 702 car coming through turns 3 and 4. Riggle retakes the lead. Moody in with the bumper. We've got a battle on our hands here. This is allowing the next 3 to close in. Who's this coming up the inside? Aaron Vate in 184. He's going to take second from Moody and attack Riggle. There's been a big rivalry over the years between Aaron Vate and James Riggle in Brisca F2. Riggle holds the lead. Moody's going to put the bumper in on both of them. A cracking finish here with just a couple of laps to go. Moody's going to go from 3rd to 1st. Aaron Vate will position himself for an attack again into the turn. He gets the bumper in on Moody and retakes the lead from the world champion. That's quite a rare sight. Moody back down to 2nd. Riggle is behind in 3rd. They're coming up to start the final lap this time around. Terrific race between these 3. Vate, Moody and Riggle, and Ben Lockwood wants a piece of this as well in 618. Bart Schmetz lets them through. They are on the last lap now. Tommy Farrell hoping that he won't get in their way here. Moody getting ready for a last spin lunge on Aaron Vate. The bumper's going to go in into turn 3 up the inside. They're almost side by side. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Aaron Vate has held it. Great drive by Aaron Vate in 184. Incredible race there. It started off quietly, but an explosive battle there between Aaron Vate, Gordon Moody and James Riggle. Any one of those 3 could have won it, and Aaron Vate rode out the last spin hit from Gordon Moody. It was overtaken, repassed indeed, twice for the lead in that one, a rare sight indeed. Vate the winner by 0.2 of a second on the drag race to the line, ahead of the world champion. James Riggle 3rd ahead of Ben Lockwood, less than a second covering those 4. Kay Lenssen, the Dutchman, 5th ahead of David Shearing, and Stuart Hodgson, Kelvin Marshall, Bradley McKinstry of Northern Ireland, and Henry King rounding out the top 10. Great racing from the F2 as now it's on to the Brisca F1 Grand National event. Big grid of 35 cars out there for this one, almost encircling the entire track out there on the grid. All the big names on the back. There's Bradley Harrison alongside his dad Paul in number 2. Dan Johnson, Luke Davidson, Ben Riley in 422. We've not seen much of him. He's been embroiled in the battles in the midfield though. Junior Wainman is there in 515. Matt Newson, Lee Fairhurst, Nigel Green, Tom Harris. Going from the back of the field, final winner Andrew Battey Memorial Trophy winner Kyle Gray. Sam Wass and Callum Oakes-Kitson will lead the field away in this one. Sam Jacklin in the car with the Shale style wing on it on the second row alongside Scott Wright in the Mat Newson hire car. We're underway then for 16 laps. It's not smoke being thrown up, I don't think there. That's a bit of cement dust from an oil spillage in another race. We're underway then with 16 laps for the F1 Grand National. Already a few yellow graders crashing out there. Try and identify those in a moment. I think the yellows have come out straight away. The yellow light's still on around the raceway. They've been on since the race started. We are now under caution. The race brought to a halt with those yellow graders crashing out. I thought the yellow lights hadn't gone out at first when we went green flags, but it was a caution called by the steward. This is the reason why. A bit of a pile-up of yellow graders. Martin Spiers in the middle of it. He's been in the wars tonight. Mark Wareham and John Fortune. But it was a whole line of contact. Ashley England and George Elwell putting the bumpers in there. Mark Wareham went spinning and everybody else piling in behind. 4 cars involved there. 120 Casey Engelston. He's had a few visits to the wall tonight. He's in the middle of that as well. So the track has been cleared. We are ready for the restart with Sam Wass in the lead in 284 ahead of Callum Oakes-Kitson in 533. Sam Jacklin in 137. 101 Tristan Jackson, the first yellow grader. Then Courtney Witts, Alex Wass, Charlie Sauder. And the rest of them only 2 laps into this, so your higher graders not yet making their move. Seen a few low grade successes tonight, and in the F2s as well, of course. Will we see that again here in this Grand National? On board with Ashley England, we get back underway, already getting the bumper in on a few of the yellow tops. Away they go. Starts to settle in once again as they go past the reflect of the cars slowing up at the back. It's the early pace setter. Here's once again Sam Wass in 284. Chris Cowley on the attack there on the back of Elwell in 501. Dan Johnson, the leading superstar in number 4, is behind them. We're with him. Sparks flying ahead of us there. Ashley England under fire from Murray Jones in 196. Murray certainly in a hurry in this one. Courtney Witts dropping back in 180. Sam Wass leads it. Tristan Jackson on the attack though. He's already had a heat win tonight. He wants a Grand National win as well up the inside. Down the back straight, he takes the lead. Head of Sam Wass. Jackson to the front, then the tarmac specialist in 101. Oakes-Kitson third, then Alex Wass. Murray Jones bouncing off the wall there, just in front of the starters rostrum. Meantime, the superstar graders battling further back. Courtney Witts spins out on turn 2. Ruin her chances of a second win. Leaders coming up to lap Scott Wright in the car hired from Mat Newson. There's a chicane in the middle of the turn there, caused by Courtney Witts' stranded car. They go either side of the 180. 533 Oakes-Kitson dropping back now, and the yellow flag is coming out again. No doubt for the stranded car of Courtney Witts. She can't get it restarted. Bit of a traffic jam there on the home straights. Looks like Courtney just spun herself out there. May have been under attack from Mat Newson in the number 16, but I don't think there was any contact. Being clipped by Paul Harrison as well, and Courtney Witts out of the race. The leader is Tristan Jackson ahead of Sam Wass. Then we've got Charlie Sauder up to third in number 5. Alex Wass in 4th, the older of the 2 brothers. Then Callum Oakes-Kitson, Ashley England rather. Charlie races in the F2s, apologies there. Murray Jones, Dan Johnson, Lee Fairhurst is next. We're on board with Lee in 217. Passing the new bar here at Skegness on the right there. Great to see so many improvements being made by Rob Speake and his team here at Skegness Raceway. I'm sure there'll be plenty of partying in that bar after the meeting tonight. Not for the drivers, of course. They have a second meeting coming up tomorrow, the UK Open Championship. Steady on this rolling lap. 1 or 2 cars, quite a few cars in fact, out of the race on the centre. It's a big 35 car grid. Let's now start to rise, and away we go with Tristan Jackson in the lead in 101 down towards the first turn. Charlie Sauder's got through into second, and Alex Wass passes his brother up into third place. Charlie Sauder will now attack for the lead. Dad Mick has won here a number of times in F1 and F2. And Dick Sauder was also a Formula 1 stock car driver, as Charlie Sauder got the bumper in there on Jackson, fired him wide. Didn't lead for very long though, because Alex Wass goes up the inside. He takes the lead. Ashley England's going to try and pass both of them. We're on bumper cam on Ashley England's car as he chases down Charlie Sauder. He'll get the bumper in. He'll try and fire him into the back of Alex Wass. He does so. Good move, Ashley England. He takes the lead. In car 346, the blue grader. Sauder fights back, and now right with them is Dan Johnson. We've had a couple of cars crash out in the background. Shaun Webster in 48 is one of them. But England leads it. Johnson in second place, trying to get the bumper in there as they go into the back straights. Now goes to the inside, the orange machine squeezes up the inside of the blue number 346 of Ashley England. He takes the lead. Dan Johnson in number 4. Lee Fairhurst not far behind in 217. He's going to go into second place. Off the turn they come. Tom Harris up there as well. The superstar trainers caught up with the lower graders and overhauled them. We've lost Phoebe Wainman there in 211. Maybe it was her who tangled with Shaun Webster. We've also lost Scott Wright onto the infield in 254. But it's Dan Johnson who shows in front, ahead of Lee Fairhurst now in second. England under fire from Tom Harris. He goes through into third place. Behind them, Nigel Green in 445. At the time, of course, Kyle Gray trying to progress up the order from the back of the grid after winning the final. Somebody pulling off there. I think that's Aaron Leach. It is in the number 70. We lose another car to the infield. It's Dan Johnson who leads them with some 4 laps to go in this Grand National. Last race of the night at Skegness Raceway. Side by side there, two of the Blue Raiders. Murray Jones relegates Ashley England another place. 445. Nigel Green attacks Tom Harris for third. Still your leader is Dan Johnson, chased by the man we ride with, Lee Fairhurst. Can he catch Johnson and steal a win? It's been a relatively quiet night for Lee Fairhurst. Johnson been in the thick of the battles as always as well, in the orange MBS sponsored car. Bring home to start his final lap this time. Tom Harris under fire from Nigel Green for third place. We're going to see a last lap lunge from Nigel for a top 3 position. Looks like Dan Johnson has done it up. I don't think Lee Fairhurst is going to catch him. Sargent pulling up there on the back straight as Johnson round the final turn. In goes the bumper from Nigel Green on the back of Tom Harris. Try and snatch third place as Johnson wins it. Fairhurst second. I think Green just pipped Harris the third place there. And it looks like Charlie Sauder rounded out the top 5. Confirm the rest of the places in just a moment in our Grand National. No doubt about your winner though, the man from Nottinghamshire, Dan Johnson in car number 4. This time the superstars were able to catch the lower graders ahead of them in our Grand National event on a very large grid of 35 cars. Johnson taking the win ahead of Lee Fairhurst, with Nigel Green just out dragging Tom Harris by a few hundredths of a second to take third position. 5th for Charlie Sauder ahead of Murray Jones, then Ashley England in 7th ahead of Danny Wainman, Chris Cowley and Mat Newson. Rounding out the top 10, Kyle Gray made it up to 12th from the back.
Number 4, Dan Johnson, Grand National winner on what must have been a bit of a special night for you.
Yeah, it's a special night for a lot of people. It ran Drew Battey's memorial race for the final. There were a lot of money up for grabs, and naturally winning that first time, get your the name first time on the memorial trophy, everyone wanted to do. So yeah, a real special night, especially for our family and a lot of close family of Batteys that we were very. We've had a rough 4 year with him. We've had up and downs, but he just loved racing. That's why Rob Speak tonight and Asher Speak, they've put a fantastic meeting on for him. Orange flags and all different stuff that's just meant a lot to a lot of the drivers that knew Andrew very well.
And that is a nice thing about the stock car community, is like even people that didn't know him knew of him, and they all come together at times like this.
Yeah, and like everyone took it on upon themselves to paint all the bumpers orange, and there was probably 1 or 2 that didn't paint the bumpers, and everyone else, well, you've just got to say thank you ever so much for them for painting the bumpers. And it's not a 2-minute job, but by the time you've got the paint and mixed it and then painted the bumpers and that, so I know a lot of people are busy as well. I just thank them for putting a great show on as well tonight for the big race, and it were a cracking race, so yeah, really happy.
Yeah, the meeting in general has been a good night tonight. Skegness usually is under the lights, but the Grand National itself, that car was quick.
Yeah, I struggle around Skegness, I'll be honest. It's not my favourite tarmac track, but when I get it right, it is a flying little thing. But I don't know, it's just hot and cold here, but tonight I think we've found a little bit of something, and it just seems to be good, so we'll see for tomorrow.
And of course now it's a nice early night, no drinking.
Yeah.
Good night's sleep, ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't drink, I used to, but now I've got 2 kids, and to be fair, I enjoy being with them more than getting drunk and that, and spending quality time with them, like, so yeah, I do have a few beers, but not when I'm racing, and tomorrow I need a clear head ahead of me.
Well, good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Alright, thank you.
Let's take a look at the World Championship qualifying points. Good results for Dan Johnson, moving him up to third place ahead of Will Hunter. So the Wainman boy is still at the top. Frankie Wainman Jr. ahead of Danny by a considerable margin. Lee Fairhurst rounding out the top five, fairly close behind with Mat Newson, Frankie Wainman Jr. next in the order. Got a long way to go yet until Kings Lynn in September. That just about wraps up the action from day one here at Skegness. The barbecue's now being lit and it's party night here in Lincolnshire. Day two coming up, the UK Open Championship in our next programme, so be sure not to miss that. Tonight's programme is dedicated to the memory of Andrew Battey, condolences to his family and many friends. Goodbye everyone.